Hello students, today we'll discuss a chapter from your book's Beehive, and the title of the chapter is Pecking, and it is written by Jerome K. Jerome. It is an extract from the novel Three Men in a Boat. What happened in this story? Let us see the title first, Pecking. Whenever we go out of station or somewhere else, we used to pack our things, all the necessary things like our clothes, shoes, toiletries, cosmetics, etc. In this story also there are three friends. One is the writer Jerome K. Jerome, George and Harris. These three friends have planned a trip, and before going to that trip they were packing their necessary things. So this packing is described in a very humorous way. Many incidents happened during this packing. Let us see. Let us begin with the story now. I said I'd pack. Who said so? The writer Jerome K. Jerome. He said that he is going to pack. I rather pride myself on my packing. Actually, he was very proud of himself. Pride myself on means am proud of. He was proud of himself for packing things because he thought that he is very good at this thing. Packing is one of those many things that I feel I know more about than any other person living. It surprises me myself sometimes how many such things there are. Here you can see the writer is elaborating this thing, his quality of packing things, in this way that he is really very good at this skill, that he packs things in a very good way, like all the essential things. He has been the master of packing. He also thinks that no one else can do packing like him. I impressed the fact upon George and Harris and told them that they had better leave the whole matter entirely to me. Now here his two friends are introduced, George and Harris. And now the writer was so confident in packing that he announced his friends that leave the packing to him only, he is going to do this thing. They fell into the suggestion with a readiness that had something uncanny about it. Fell into means accepted, and uncanny means strange or weird. Now George and Harris also accepted the suggestion of Jerome K. Jerome, and because they didn't find anything strange in this, that's why they were ready that Jerome should pack the things. George spread himself over the easy chair and Harris cocked his legs on the table. Cocked his legs means bent the legs on the knee as he sat. Now George sat on the easy chair in relaxed mode, and Harris also just put his legs on the table, means in a relaxed way. This was hardly what I intended. What I had meant, of course, was that I should boss the job and that Harris and George should potter about under my directions, I pushing them aside every now and then with, "Oh, you, here, let me do it." Actually, Jerome did not mean this, that George and Harris should sit in a relaxed way and he should work alone. Intended means planned or meant. What I had meant, of course, was that I should boss the job. Actually, he wanted to give them directions only, and George and Harris should work, potter about, means do some unimportant things. Actually, Jerome wanted George and Harris to work under his directions only. He didn't mean to work alone. And at last he wanted to say, "Oh, you, here, let me do it." Means you can't do anything, I will do it. There you are, simple enough, really teaching them, as you might say. Now actually Jerome wanted to teach them how to pack, but what happened? Just opposite it. They are taking it in the way they did irritate me. And the way George and Harris were behaving at that time, it was really irritating Jerome. There is nothing does irritate me more than seeing other people sitting about doing nothing when I'm working. What thing irritates the narrator, Jerome, that whenever he works and other people are sitting free, this thing irritates him a lot. I lived with a man once who used to make me mad that way. He would loll on the sofa and watch me doing things by the hour together. He said it did him real good to look on at me messing about. What is the meaning of loll on the sofa? To recline or lean in a relaxed manner. And messing about means to waste time doing something without a particular purpose. Here the writer is telling his past experience that when he lived with a man and he used to watch him constantly while doing work, and it would just make him mad that way, the way he used to watch him. He did not like his way actually. Now I'm not like that. I can't sit still and see another man slaving and working. I want to get up and superintend and walk round with my hands in my pockets and tell him what to do. It is my energetic nature. I can't help it. What is the meaning of sit still? Sit without doing anything. And superintend means supervise or manage. Here the writer says that it's not his nature to sit idle and just kept on looking at other people's working like slaves. It's not his nature actually. He also wanted to do work and walk round with his hands in his pockets and tell other people what should be done. He liked to supervise other people. He liked to manage the work. He says that it is his energetic nature and he can't change it. However, I did not say anything but started the packing. It seemed a longer job than I had thought it was going to be. But I got the bag finished at last and I sat on it and strapped it. Strapped it means closed it. The writer was thinking about all this, that his friend should not sit idle, sit free. They should also help him. But he didn't say anything actually, and he started the packing, and it was a longer job actually. He thought that he is going to complete the packing in a very short time, but it took him a longer time to complete it than I had thought I was going to be. But I got the bag finished at last. But ultimately he finished the packing and he sat on the bag and closed it. "Aren't you going to put the boots in?" said Harris. Then after the packing was complete, then Harris asked Jerome that, "Are you not going to put the boots into the bag?" Means the boots were kept outside. And I looked around and found I had forgotten them. Then he looked around, Jerome looked around, and he also found it that he had forgotten to keep the boots inside the bag. That's just like Harris. He couldn't have said a word until I'd got the bag shut and strapped, of course. Then he thought that only Harris can do it. He could also speak the words. He could also ask him before closing the bag that I should put the boots inside, but he did not say anything before that. And George laughed, one of those irritating, senseless laughs of his. And George started laughing, and his laugh was just irritating Jerome at that time. "They do make me so wild." So wild means mad with anger. Means both the friends, George and Harris, were making him mad with anger. I opened the bag and packed the boots in, and then just as I was going to close it, a horrible idea occurred to me. Had I packed my toothbrush? I don't know how it is, but I never do know whether I packed my toothbrush. Then the writer opened the bag again and packed the boots in, and after that he was just going to close the bag again. Then an idea occurred to him that whether he had packed his toothbrush or not. He didn't remember that whether he had packed or not. My toothbrush is a thing that haunts me when I'm traveling and makes my life a misery. I dream that I haven't packed it and wake up in a cold perspiration and get out of bed and hunt for it. Haunts means to repeatedly give trouble, misery means sad, perspiration means sweat, and hunt means search. Here, the writer says that his toothbrush was a thing that always gave him trouble whenever he traveled. It made his life a very sad, and he used to see it in his dreams that he had not packed his toothbrush, and he woke up in a cold night, cold perspiration and sweating, and get out of the bed and started searching for the toothbrush. Here we can see that the writer is exaggerating the incident of toothbrush. And in the morning I pack it before I have used it and have to unpack again to get it, and it is always the last thing I turn out of the bag, and then I repack and forget it and have to rush upstairs for it at the last moment and carry it to the railway station wrapped up in my pocket handkerchief. Here the writer says that in the morning he packed the toothbrush before using it. As we used to brush our teeth in the morning, he packed the toothbrush before brushing his teeth, and after that he had to unpack everything again to take his brush out from the bag. And after using the brush, after brushing his teeth, he forgot to put the brush back in the bag. And whenever he has to catch the train, he keeps lastly the toothbrush in his hand by folding it into a handkerchief, because he always forgets to keep it back in the bag. So it always happens with the writer. Of course, I had to turn every mortal thing out now, and of course I could not get it. Mortal thing means every ordinary things. He had to take every ordinary thing out of his bag, and after that also he could not find his toothbrush. I rummaged the things up into much the same state that they must have been before the world was created and when chaos reigned. Rummaged means searched in a hurried or careless way. Chaos means confusion, and reigned means ruled. Now the writer took everything out from his bag in a very hurried and careless way that all the things in the bag were just looking like the things before the world was created. What does it mean before the world was created? That all the things were worn out, or they became very old as he took out from the bag. And there was chaos or confusion all over, means the confusion was ruling there. Of course, I found George and Harris 18 times over, but I couldn't find my own. He found George and Harry's toothbrush 18 times, but he could not find his toothbrush. I put the things back one by one and held everything up and shook it. Then after that, he started keeping the things back in the bag one by one, and he shook the bag. Then I found it inside a boot. Then finally he got his toothbrush inside a boot. Then I repacked once more. Then he repacked the bag once more. When I had finished, George asked if the soap was in. I said I didn't care a hang whether the soap was in or whether it wasn't, and I slammed the bag shut and strapped it, and found that I had packed my spectacles in it, and I had to reopen it. Now after Jerome finished the packing again, George suddenly asked him that if the soap was in, the soap is kept inside the bag or not. Then Jerome said that he didn't care a hang. Didn't care a hang means show no concern or interest whether the soap was in or whether it wasn't. He didn't know about it. He was not interested in the soap. And I slammed. Slammed means shut the lid forcefully and loudly. The bag shut and strapped it means he closed the bag again and found, after closing the bag, he found that he had packed his spectacles in the bag and had to reopen it. Now he had to again open the bag to take out his spectacles, which he put by mistake. It got shut up finally at 10:05 p.m. and then there remained the hampers. Hampers means baskets used to carry food, utensils, etc. to do. Finally, the bag was packed at 10:05 p.m. But what was remained outside? The basket used to carry food, utensil, etc. It was to be packed. Harris said that we should be wanting to start in less than 12 hours time and thought that he and George had better do the rest, and I agreed and sat down and they had a go. Now Harris said that now less than 12 hours time is left to move out from the house and now they should pack the hampers also. Then Harris said that Jerome should sit and Harris and George are going to pack the hampers. And Jerome was also agreed and he asked them to pack the hampers. They began in a light-hearted spirit, evidently intending to show me how to do it. I made no comment, I only waited. Light-hearted spirit means to be cheerful and evidently means clearly. Means they started packing the hampers in a very cheerful way, in a very light way. Actually, they wanted to show it to Jerome that look how to pack the things. They wanted to prove it, that they can pack things better than him. But Jerome did not comment and he just waited. With the exception of George, Harris is the worst packer in this world, and I looked at the piles of plates and cups and kettles and bottles and jars and pies and stoves and cakes and tomatoes, etc., and felt that the thing would soon become exciting. Exception means a person or thing that does not follow the general rule. Jerome says that George is quite good at packing, but Harris is the worst packer in the world. And he didn't know how to pack things. And the writer saw so many things around them like cups, kettles, bottles, jars, pies, stoves, cakes, tomatoes, and he felt that this thing would soon become very exciting because it was very difficult for them to pack all these things. It did. They started with breaking a cup. That was the first thing they did. They did that just to show you what they could do and to get you interested. And as Jerome was thinking that it was going to be very excited, and it actually happened because they started packing the things with breaking a cup. First of all, they broke a cup, and that was the thing they did. They did that just to show you that what they could do and to get you interested. They wanted to show that they can also do like this so that you could create interest in their work. Here the writer is making fun of two of his friends, George and Harris, so that he could enjoy watching them. He could take interest as they were doing packing. So that's all about the first part of the lesson, packing. In next video I will discuss the second part of the lesson. Thank you so much.